Guys, welcome back. Day 2 of Hype Week. Today we're going to be talking about a Sentinel rework in Heartseeker. I will have the article down below. And yeah, let's go straight into it, get my reaction, and see what it's all about. Hello travelers, and welcome back to the pre-patch Hype Week blog post number 2. In today's blog post, we're covering the complete Sentinel rework and the new skill for the Rogue Marksman Heartseeker. We'll start with the Heartseeker and save the bigger dive into the Sentinel for the later portion of this post. If you missed the first installment of our Hype Week blog post, you can see number 1 right here. So basically, next patch, they are reworking Sentinel. Mainly, the main thing that was also, like, everyone was wondering about is that Volatile Reversal brings so much damage to all of the other skills, and it was basically a mandatory skill that they wanted to redistribute the power from Volatile Reversal to the entire, like, all the other skills, the passive tree, everything from the Sentinel, and they're reworking Volatile Reversal into a brand new skill. So yeah, that's pretty much the Sentinel rework, and then the Heartseeker is the new skill from Rogue that we talked about yesterday. With us covering a new skill, a completed rework skill, passive skill change, and other skill changes, we find ourselves with a decently long post. Just take a look at the link table of contents to help you navigate and enjoy this longer pre-patch Hype Week blog post. Is this long? Is it this long? Is it this freaking long? Okay, this is gonna be a big one. Let's try to go into the like, you know, the general of it, and then if you want to read it completely, you can read your entire article. With detonating arrow, multi-shot, and hail of arrows, the marksman mastery covers an area of effect style attacks fairly well. However, this has presented an opening for a skill featuring high single target damage. So this is where you see it. It's Heartseeker with a recurve chance, right? So your arrows have a chance like constantly hit monsters. Launching a ranged projectile with the ability to recurve the same target repeatedly, Heartseeker is highly capable of both hit and dodge style builds to bring high health targets to their knees. Becoming available with 30 points spent in the marksman tree, this puts Heartseeker beyond the chain lock, making this new skill exclusive to the marksman mastery. With Heartseeker, you will find a new mechanic in last Epoch, recurve chance. Recurve works differently from other repeating attacks, such as shield throw ricochet or shuriken pierce. In these examples, you increase the number of effective hits with a flat increase, such as +2 ricochet, whereas with a Heartseeker, you'll have a recurve chance. So it says, shoot an arrow that seeks the heart of nearby targets, passing harmlessly through other enemies. Whenever it hits its target, it has a chance to continue through it and recurve to a strike again. Subsequent recurve chance is multiplied to 0.8 each time the arrow recurves. If the target dies, it will choose a new target. This means that your recurve, you cannot infinitely recurve. You will eventually end the recurve. Starting with a default 100% curve chance to recurve, each time Heartseeker strikes an enemy, it recurves chances below 0.8. This means at baseline, it will recurve once, and 80% chance for a second recurve, 64 for a third, and so on, until it fails to roll within the remaining percent chance. By increasing the recurve chance, the minimum amount of recurves each use of the skill will also increase. For example, with a 125% recurve chance, it's guaranteed to recurve at least 2 times from the default, and at 157 recurve chance, it's guaranteed to recurve at least 3 times. One node in particular can allow a Heartseeker projectile to theoretically continually recurve until it no longer has any targets remaining. Theoretically is a very strong word here because this will never happen. Like, it will never recurve infinitely. I mean, theoretically, yeah. In theory, you can also find tier 28 exalted items, and you can get a 4 LP red ring of Atlaria. The specialization. As with all skills in last Epoch, Heartseeker comes with a full skill tree, allowing you to specialize into the skill extensively. Okay, so they're basically going into all the Heartseeker stuff. I am not going to go over them. If you want, go check out the Heartseeker tree and look at it. But yeah, this is basically all the Heartseeker stuff that they're mentioning. And there's also a Heartseeker unique item with recurve chance and throwing damage with Heartseeker per 5 decks. So, you know, scalability and more recurve chance. So very, very good. Going even further beyond, of course, Heartseeker isn't limited to the above modifiers. You will find other nodes within Heartseeker which allow it to consume shadows for extra Heartseeker attacks, have Heartseeker drop black arrows, and of course, nodes that offer bleed chance, poison chance, crit, multi, as well as other stacking recurve bonuses. In Season 2, the Rogue comes to the party with a brand new way to make enemies feel the pain and fear the shadows. How many times do you think you'll be able to get a Heartseeker to recurve? I mean, I've already talked to some people that have been following Heartseeker as it has been revealed with spreadsheets. Namely, I again has been, I think he pretty much calculated the entire recurve chance that you could get, since the entire tree was pretty much revealed before. But yeah, sounds like a very, very fun skill to play if you are into marksmen, which are the bow characters of last Epoch. Now, Sentinel Rework. Okay, alongside Heartseeker, a second rework and essentially new skill will be making its debut in Season 2, Volatile Reversal. This bears some reasoning, as neither Sentinel nor Volatile Reversal has been unpopular. In fact, okay, so this is basically what I said before. Volatile Reversal was too mandatory on every single build because it increases the damage, especially for damage over time builds, which could like double dip like from everything. Okay. Anyways, let's just cut it short. Too much more of a moral multiplier to ignore it, especially on dot builds. So Volatile Reversal is here. The current version, okay, this is basically what they say. The current version offers very powerful global bonuses, and such has been a mainstay in almost every Sentinel builds, blah, blah, blah. We've intended to rework Volatile Reversal for some time. However, with Sentinel being almost propped up by Volatile Reversal, reworking it to be a more individually interesting skill rather than an unfun support buff would leave many Sentinel options in too weak of a place. Thus, with Season 2, we're both reworking Volatile Reversal into a new skill with a new skill trade mechanic, as well as providing many buffs and changes across many Sentinel skills and passives to help Sentinels hetero-wide stand on their own without leaning heavily on a single skill. So Volatile Reversal is now a combo ability that jumps forward in time to a target location and performs a melee attack on arrival. So it's a melee skill. Recast within 3 seconds to jump backwards in time to your original location and perform a melee attack on arrival. Scales with strength and vitality. It gets flat damage from vitality and increased damage from strength, 200 effectiveness, and cooldown continues recovering while the recast is available. Rather than being a supporting skill, it grants reappearance as a melee traversal combo skill. So this is what it can look like here. Melee attack, and then you go back. I don't know if like people will like going back like this again, but we'll see. Maybe there's something on the tree that allows you to not go back in time. As a 2-part combo skill, Volatile Reversal is used to teleport to enemies, landing in an area of melee attack and allowing further follow-up before reactivating and teleporting back to your original location. Or if you're happy with the engagement, simply don't reactivate the skill and retain your all-new forward future self. This is one of the main things that people found very, very, very annoying, was that Volatile Reversal, you had to go back in time. There used to be one specific interaction where with Smite as a traversal skill, you could basically cast Smite, Volatile Reversal, and then your Smite teleports you forward because the animation is longer than the instantaneous Volatile Reversal that we had. But yeah, we'll see. Now, you have the option to just not go back in time, but then, do you use this for damage, or we'll have to see the full skill tree. Providing both engagement and disengagement in one skill, Volatile Reversal offers new engagement opportunities to Sentinels and new synergies and build options. While it may be noticed that the skills offers added void spell damage through vitality scaling, the skill only deals melee damage by default, and this vitality scaling is offered for optional spell-based sub-skill in the skill tree. Becoming available with 5 points spent in the Void Knight tree, this places Volatile Reversal before the lock line, making it available to all Sentinels with the right investment. Volatile Reversal offers its own full skill tree to customize, so they're going to be talking about many of the nodes here. If you want to go into any of these nodes and see for yourself, please go into the link down below and look through these nodes, as this will just make the video too long. In addition to the mentioned nodes, you'll also find options that allow you to convert Volatile Reversal to fire damage, grant void essences, trigger abyssal echoes, or increase the damage options for Volatile Reversal itself. The new Volatile Reversal offers a completely new playstyle option and many new build opportunities with it. Okay, now, Sentinel changes. With VR, may have in a spotlight for the Sentinel rework, as mentioned, there's a whole lot of other changes coming into the class, with its update in both skills and passives. Let's start taking a look at some of these with one of the more significant changes, Symbols of Hope. So every 2 seconds, you summon a symbol that orbits you, causing you and your allies attacks and spells to deal 3 additional fire damage and increase health regen by 20%. Activate to consume the symbols, granting 100 ward and 5% less damage taken per symbol for 3 seconds. So this kind of sorts of acts like this is going to be automatic. Every 2 seconds you summon a symbol. No more investing into the tree to automatically summon them or having them insta-cast or something like that. Symbols of Hope is now fully automated. That orbits you, gives you damage, gives you health regen, and then when you press it, it acts kind of like a flame ward, which gives you less damage taken per symbol for 3 seconds. So that is pretty nice. But wait, isn't a skill called Sigils of Hope? Not as of Season 2. In the future, we'll be adding the Sigil system, which left a bit of confusion with the skill. With the mechanical changes, we felt like there were no better opportunity to resolve that confusion with a small name change. The mechanical change, not so small. So yeah, as we read, like VR, Sigils of Hope become an annoying factor. As a buff skill that required regular reactivation to maintain passive bonuses, it ended up being an interruption to play without a fun effect or simply being an autocast. Rather than gaining a sigil upon using the ability, the change of Symbols of Hope now causes the player to gain the symbols passively over time, while activating the skill gives you a significant temporary buff. While not a fully reworked skill like VR, you will find many differences in the new Symbols of Hope tree, including a change to Divine Flare Branch, War Generation, and new passive bonuses, such as increased critical strike chance. It's pretty massive here. This is the ring that we already had for Symbols of Hope, but now they changed it so that Symbols of Hope is automatically activated when damage taken leaves you below your endurance threshold, consuming 71% of its cooldown and mana cost. So yeah, that's the change for the unique. Time Rot, Boil Down. Time Rot is now a viable build path for Void Knights. Time Rot is an element. This is something that got people very, very excited as we've seen this node here, which gives you Time Rot chance, Time Rot damage per slow chance, Time Rot damage per Time Rot chance with Void skills, and for 1% attack or cast speed, whichever one is the lowest. These are all new multiplier for Time Rot, and they are multiplicative with one another, right? So this is, you know, people got excited, people got theory crafting. We are going to be getting the planners on the 11th, and you will be able to like mess around with planners to which is when the patch notes will drop on the 11th of April, and then that's when you will be able to like theorize more accurately with all of these things. Time Rot is now a viable build path for Void Knight. Is an element that deals 60 void damage over time, increases stun duration by 5%, lasts 3 seconds, and stacks up to 12 times. While most elements depend on achieving high stack count as possible, don't let that dissuade from the new Time Rot. With many new sources being able to reliably apply Time Rot, and newly available augmenting passes for Time Rot, such as the extremely powerful Void Knight Rot Grip passive, Time Rot offers other routes for scaling other than just stack count. Also, keep in mind that when you are applying stacks of Time Rot, there is a mechanic that makes it so that if the stack that you would be applying is less effective, has less of a big multiplier than the stacks that are already on, it won't replace them unless it would deal more damage basically than it already deals. So the Time Rot stacks that you're applying, even though they're capped at 12, if you inflict a bigger, more damaging Time Rot stack, the game will take that stack instead of the weaker ones, and it will not replace your powerful ones by weak ones. So you can like maximize your 12 stacks to be, you know, the best possible stacks ever. Passive change. With the Sentinel rework, a total of 65 passive have been changed between all masteries. That's a few too many to cover in a blog post like this. So for the full details, you have to wait for the patch notes on the 11th. For today, we're going to cover some of the bigger new or changed nodes. While almost all of these passive change are in Void Knight and Paladin, with Forge Guard recently getting attention, Forge Guard is still getting a very impactful new passive in Forge Master Might. So you are now able to equip a shield with also a two-hander weapon. So yeah, that will be surely interesting and open up some new build options. You do get a downside that get less damage for you and your minions, and less attack and cast speed for you and your minions. While Monument of Protection, we introduced a dual winning shields option. The next logical step was wielding the two-handed weapon with a shield. While no current characters have 4 arms to dual wield two-handed weapons, we do feel that the Forge Guard mastery of weapons give them enough of an edge to efficiently wield one with a single hand. Sword of Raya. So melee ignite chance, and whenever you activate Holy Aura, it causes all your ignite stacks on enemies to deal more damage multiplicative. So you get 50% more ignite damage. This is kind of like reminiscent of what we have with Enchant Weapon on the mage class, right? But this Paladin Capsule node found at the end of the passive tree now offers power to warrant its position as one of the final Paladin passive nodes. Not only offering a significant amount of melee ignite chance per point, which is 20, which is pretty huge, also offers a threshold bonus granting a major boost to all ignite damage when you activate Holy Aura. Holy Precision. You have an increased chance of critical strike and additional crit strike multiplier. So base crit chance, increased crit multi, pretty nice, right? 5 points for 3% base crit. Holy Precision node is a node because they offer a lot of power. So I guess, do we go over them? Maybe I'll go over some of them. Since those are kind of like more interesting than just skills themselves, right? So you can now get base crit chance, crit multi. This one gives you physical penetration, void penetration, frailty chance, and slow chance. So frailty is pretty nice since you're going to be able to get frailty for 5 passive points, not have to invest, especially on like min-maxed builds where you might want to get pretty much all of your gear as legendaries and like super min-max. Frailty is something you cannot ignore on any build unless you're playing a ZHP build like Ballista. But if you're playing anything that wants to survive, you need frailty. Like it's not even a question. You need frailty, and having the option of having it on the passive tree might be pretty huge. Fist Pen, Void Pen, always nice, 8-point maximum. This one is giving us elemental damage taken as void and void damage taken. So this one might be huge for survivability. This is another option for less damage taken, damage reduction. Also, like, there might be some very, very nice, synergies with other things in the game that make you take, LA damage taken as void, maybe less void damage taken. Like there are opening up more options for survivability for sure, if that is what you like to do. Skill changes. Continue with the theme of too many changes to show in one blog post. The Sentinel is also receiving change to 22 of its 26 skills. As with passive, you'll have to wait for the patch notes for the complete list of changes, but today we'll touch on some of the skills receiving more significant changes. Devouring Orb. Devouring Orb, okay, where is Frastadark here? Has received an adjustment to its base functionality. Frastadark, are you in chat? Now passively dealing void damage over time to enemies within its area of effect. This change helps Devouring Orb in more of a primary skill role, less dependent on other skill to trigger rifts. Inside of the skill tree, you'll find many changes, even some entirely new nodes. Two of the nodes being the new all-consuming node and the Rework Abyssal Rush. While you are moving, you will automatically cast a Devouring Orb if it's not on cooldown and you have enough mana. So automating Devouring Orb might, enable some sort of a auto bomber playstyle, or just like having different buffs from it just by auto casting them. So it seems like EHG is embracing we're just gonna let you guys have fun. No more having to press on sigils every now and then. No more having to press on Devouring Orb. No more having to press on the annoying skills that didn't do really anything for your build by pressing them. Like it was just unfun and like just like kind of like broke the flow of combat. So now it's just automated. And when you directly cast non-orbiting Devouring Orb within the area of an existing Devouring Orb, the new orb consumes all orbs to deal more damage in a larger area per orb consumed. However, the new orb also deals less element damage per orb consumed. So people were theory crafting with the Time Rot node that we've seen in the passive with the all-consuming node. They were theory crafting that this would be very good for Time Rot. See if you can do something good with it. So those are the nodes in Devouring Orb. There are other nodes that are interesting in Devouring Orb, but we'll have to wait for the patch notes for that. Javelin. Okay, so Javelin has had its added damage effectiveness increased to 250%. The biggest changes for Javelin can be found in its skill tree nodes. This includes Divine Fury no longer being incompatible with Siege Barrage. So with both the nodes allocated, each javelin that rains down will create lightning spears. In addition, many nodes have received adjustments to provide more power to javelin builds, as well as compensated for the Volatile Reversal changes. So javelin was like sometimes struggling with clear if you went into the node that makes them rain down from the sky. Now you'll have like a better clear, and the damage effectiveness is also increased. So it's really, really cool. Javelin hits have a chance to apply frailty per point of strength, and a chance to shred enemy physical rest per point of dex. Hits deal more damage. Effect is double against enemy on high health. So they're adding some more power to Javelin. So we might see a Javelin build next patch. Who knows? Multi-Strike is also receiving a number of numerical changes, along with one very big new node, Blade Storm. When you create more additional swords than there are nearby enemies, each remaining sword can consume mana to strike the nearest enemy, even if it was hit by initial attack. So that is pretty massive, right? So even on the single target, you might be able to use this. Who knows? This might be pretty good. Multi-Strike has also received a buff to its hitbox, making reliably landing those primary hits feel much smoother. So we might see a Multi-Strike build too. Shield Throw is an ability that previously required a number of passive points to get it up and running as a primary skill. This is largely because of the long cooldown, which required a non-insignificant number of skill points to remove. Considering this was the style that was generally preferred for the skill, we've adjusted its base functionality to reflect this, removing the initial cooldown and reducing the cost. So ricochet up to 2 targets before returning to you. You cannot throw a new shield until the current shield has returned to you. While it still requires a shield to return before throwing out a new shield, it now only costs a single skill point in the first ring of the tree to remove that restriction. Alternatively, you can add a cooldown to the skill and further specialize it to be able to use ricochet to yourself and grant additional benefits with that. These changes free up skill points, and combined with other nodes changed to Shield Throw, make it a much smoother and more formidable skill. So Shield Throw Enjoyer, you want to be Captain America? There you go. Smelter's Wrath is receiving some fairly significant number of changes and an important mechanical change. While many nodes on the tree are also receiving some love, the added damage effectiveness of Smelter's Wrath is being increased from 450 to 600%, which is pretty huge. Mechanically, Smelter's Wrath is being changed to now grant more damage based on charge, up to 100% more damage at maximum charge, from 50% more hit damage per second spent charging. This means that reducing your charge time will no longer reduce the benefit received from this effect. Effects in the tree that are for each second channeled remain unchanged. So, you know, we have already seen a pretty busted Smelter's Wrath build. Arguably was bugged, but, you know, maybe the increased effectiveness and the changes here might make Smelter's Wrath something that you might want to explore if that is your kind of skill that you'd like to play. Not really my type of thing, but, you know, might be for you. Vengeance. The last skill we'll be touching on today is Vengeance, with 28 lines of patch notes just for Vengeance skill tree. Vengeance has a new outlook on life in Season 2. This includes change to Iron Blade, offering a way to get it to 100% chance on both Vengeance and Repose hit, Forged Weapon generation, and full Fire and Void conversion options, while keeping its highly defensive strength. Like Multi-Strike, its base hitbox has been increased to help make striking while the attack feels smoother and more forgiving. So let's see what they are giving us here. Your next Void Cleave or Racing Strike deal more damage after you use and hit with Vengeance. 3 points, this, boom, boom. I don't think you would want to... Yeah, I think this node is pretty troll, because you would just want to use a Racing Strike anyways, since you can just spam the skill when you have enough mana. So yeah, this is kind of a troll node. Wing Steel. Iron Blade travels faster, causing it to travel further. Additionally, Vengeance and Repose hits have a chance to attack with Iron Blade per point of attunement up to a maximum. So yeah, so this is like Iron Blade stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. There are so many more related changes we didn't have an opportunity to show off in this post, but don't worry, the patch notes are just around the corner. We look forward to seeing what kind of builds the community manages to create with the all-new Heartseeker, as well as the Rework Sentinel in Season 2. Tombs of the Erased, launching April 17. I'm so hyped for this. Be sure to stick around for more pre-patch Hype Week blog posts. Hype to look forward to. Endgame itemization and outer balance change. That is going to be tomorrow. And quality of life and other game improvements, including dungeons. That is going to be in 2 days. So that is pretty pog. I like this. I like this post. I like the changes that they're doing. I cannot wait to play some Sentinel, even though I might consider myself a Primeless main. I am hesitating between Sentinel and Primeless to start this patch, since this is certainly a very large Sentinel patch. But yeah, and Heartseeker, not a big fan of Marksman, so I probably will leave that to someone else. But hope you guys liked the video. This was the Sentinel rework and Heartseeker, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow for the next Hype Week blog post. Bye, guys.